Mayor of London, Boris Johnson, thank you very much for speaking to us today.
It's a great pleasure.
I'd like to begin by asking you about the impact or the aftermath of the Olympic Games.
Yeah.
Now that the dust has settled on the Olympic Games and the Jubilee, what are you doing to make sure that London doesn't disappear from view?
I think there were lots of benefits from the Olympics, and in the months since the Games, it's been quite astonishing to see the level of investment and confidence in London. Point you to the gigantic, mouldering old power station at Battersea, which you and I have grown up with all our lifetimes, has been a ruin, a reproach to politicians and their powers of regeneration. Since the Olympics, you've got the Malaysians coming in with a massive investment, over £1 billion, going to deliver 15,000 homes, 25,000 jobs. There's money circling the planet in search of a great place to invest, and people are finding it in London.
The great advantage of the Olympics is that there is a deadline. But how do you make sure that the important projects that need to be completed for London get done without that
spur,
unmissable deadline?
Well, I think it's a very good question, and there are deadlines coming up. I mean, for instance, it's Crossrail, the biggest engineering project in Europe, which I think your readers, my electorate even, don't know enough about and don't really appreciate what is happening. I wish I could take them into these great cathedrals of space that we're excavating underneath London and show them what is happening. That's got to be done by 2017, 2018. It's got to be finished. When it's finished, it will be transformational. It will add 10% to the rail capacity in London. What we're doing now in City Hall is producing a vision for London 2020 and beyond. And we're trying to get the maximum possible agreement amongst our colleagues and around London about how that should be. So it's not just Crossrail 1, it's Crossrail 2, it's new river crossings, it's where London should be in its educational ambitions. So that miracle that people have always wanted to see, which is the bourgeoisie keeping their kids in the state school, in the state systems, is starting to happen.
You've called the City of London the engine room of the economy. What do you think will be the impact of a cap on bankers' bonuses?
Well, I just object in principle to the idea of trying to regulate terms, remuneration in that kind of detail from Brussels. It seems to me to be so transparently not the sort of thing that the EU should be trying to do. And you know, all the arguments are well rehearsed. It will just lead people to pay their employees more in salaries rather than bonus and blah, blah, blah. But it's the principle of the thing that I object to. And as I say, I mean, not since the Emperor Diocletian in 301 produced the Edictum Dei Pretiis Venalis, or whatever the hell it was. Something or other. I think I've got it roughly right. Has there been such a moronic piece of economic policy? Because after all, you can't really fix wages and prices in that way. I mean, it doesn't work like that. The most you can possibly hope to achieve is a minor boost for competitors of the London market, like Zurich or Singapore or New York or wherever. And that, who gains? Does anybody in the EU gain from that? Not at all.
Do you look at the powers of other mayors with envy?
I think it depends which sector you're talking about. As you rightly say, we have more powers over mass transit than New York does, which is very, very important for delivery of regeneration, housing, as I've just been saying. I think there is a strategic role for us in education to act as the grit in the oyster, to stimulate best practice, to spend money on encouraging excellence, and to help with the creation of new schools where those are wanted. And we're going to be doing that. We're going to be trying to find the space that is necessary for some of these academies
But you don't look with envy at the powers of other.
I have to be very diplomatic. I don't want you to get the impression that I'm some sort of megalomaniac here, James. I'm very. I work very well with London councils, and it's a collegiate arrangement. I think we can support, we can help. We want to be there to encourage, to foster. I'm not trying to create a kind of dictatorship. The objective is to to help them to get even better results from London schools. And many boroughs, not all, but many boroughs are now doing far better than they were when I was growing up.
Boris Johnson, Mayor of London, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much.